Hello. Today I'm talking about Pandemic. Yes, I'm talking about the legendary game designed by Matt Leacock and published by Z-Man Games. All the way back in 2008. Speaking about time, we just had one of these 6 years ago, and it spread the cough like wildfire. And to make sure I don't get the cough this time, I got gloves. Okay, now I can safely remove the box lid without getting infected by the cough. What comes in the box? Rulebook, game board, cards, more cards, bags and stuff. Okay, so in Pandemic, we're trying to make cures for all 4 diseases here. Every player in the game is going to play a different role that has different abilities. Everybody starts in Atlanta every single game because that's like the center of research or whatever it is. They're researching the cough so it doesn't get to our heads. And there are 4 colors of diseases: yellow, red, blue, black. And there's already some that start on the board, so I'm gonna make that happen with the power of editing. Okay, I spread them out over here to show you the setup. These disease cubes are out here. And what we do every turn are some actions. We do 4 of these actions. There's actually a whole bunch of them you can do. And then you draw 2 cards from here, and then you put more disease cubes out. Everybody keeps doing this until either all 4 cures are made, or you run out of cubes to place, or you run out of cards, or this tracker over here that's a bit off screen goes to 8. Okay, so let's see the different things that you can do. You can drive/ferry, which is basically just moving one space here. You could take a direct flight by discarding a card from your hand and then moving to that location. So Seoul, and then moving across the map to Seoul. Or if I was already in Seoul, I could do a charter flight, which I discard the card from the city that I'm in, and I can go anywhere. The cough is not finding me after this one. Whee! I could do a shuttle flight, which if there was a research station here, I could travel from one research station to the other one. And these little research stations are special. They help us figure out the cures for the diseases. And one of the actions that you can do is building a research station. So again, if I was in Seoul here, I could discard that card that matches the city that I'm in, which is Seoul here. So I could build a research station. Another thing they can do on your turn as an action is to take off a cube from one of these spaces. This is kind of a temporary thing. Like if the cubes are overflowing and you just need to get rid of a couple of them, this is a good action to do. And you don't want it to get overfilled because the maximum cubes that you can fit on one city is 3. So what happens when you add another one to that city? You cause an outbreak. And so 1 cube from that color will go to each adjacent city, just like so. And that could mean another outbreak happens. Just like in this case here, where I added a cube here. And if a cube were to be placed back here, it would create an outbreak. And when it goes to this city, it would outbreak again, but it doesn't go back and forth like this. It just keeps going until there's no more outbreaks. And every time there's an outbreak, the outbreak track goes up by 1. And again, if you remember, once it goes to 8, everybody loses. And then if you have a card of the city that you're in, and you're in the same city with another player, then you could trade that city card with another player. And then lastly, if you have 5 of the same color in your hand, you can go to a research station, use an action to discover a cure, and say, boom, I solved the cough. I solved 1/4 of the cough, I guess. And then you say which one you did. So black, because 5 black cards. I'm at a research station, use 5 black cards, I get the cure for that disease. And when a disease is cured and all of the cubes are taken off of the board, there's no more of those cubes out there, then you flip that cure over here like this and it's eradicated. So no more cubes that color is going to come back out here. But you got to get rid of all of them. as well as find a cure for it. But how do the cubes come out though? So at the end of everybody's turn, these cards are going to get flipped over and show what city gets a cube. And this little track up here shows how many cards you flip at the end of every person's turn. So at the end of one person's turn, you flip over 2 cards, and it could be Washington and Istanbul, just like that. But there are these very bad cards that are shuffled into the player deck here, and they're called epidemics. And when somebody pulls one of these cards out of the deck, you potentially infect more cities every turn. You immediately infect one city on the bottom of the deck here, Ho Chi Minh City. And then you shuffle all the cards in the discard pile back into the deck. So now those infected cities are at risk. So it creates this tension of trying to figure out what cities to focus on and what colors to collect while you're traveling the board. And there's also these cool cards that do cool things like rearranging the top 6 cards of the infection deck, or removing any one card from the infection discard pile from the game completely, or just skipping the infect city step at the end of someone's turn so no cities get infected. And there's a couple more in there, but you get the gist. It's a fairly easy game to learn, and I like the communication between people trying to figure out which cities to prioritize and which colors to prioritize. And based on what role you get, you're going to be doing things a little bit different. Like the scientist here only needs 4 cards instead of 5 to discover your cure. And the medic is really good at removing cubes. The dispatcher can move other people around. So they all just do cool little things that just make you play differently every game. And this is actually the second edition of the game. The first edition of the game actually came with wooden cubes. Could you imagine that? And this game has a bunch of different spin-offs and a bunch of different expansions to it. I guess you could say the cough spread real fast. We got things like Pandemic the Dice Game, Pandemic Shorter Edition, Cthulhu Pandemic, and even Star Wars Pandemic? This is crazy stuff. Imagine Yoda fighting a cough with a lightsaber and losing because he didn't know it was an airborne disease instead of an actual person. If someone's name in the Star Wars universe was cough, I wouldn't even be surprised. But yeah, this is a solid game with good decisions. I like it. And that's why I give it an 8 out of 10. Well, I guess it's time for the deinfection process. Time to grab my trusty dusty mask. Ah, that's better. Now let's get the stuff off. Bacterial wipes. No more cough. No more cough. No more cough. Okay, now to safely secure these 4 diseases. For extra security, I need hand sanitizer. Okay, I'm ready. Wait a second. I forgot about this little guy. Okay. Now I'm ready. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was so dangerous. These diseases are so dangerous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it almost exploded just then. Holy cow. Okay, I got the blues in. Oh, but there's 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Oh my gosh. That was so scary. I gotta seal these up before they spread the cough. Ugh. 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 Now I'm gonna put them in Amazon boxes and ship them to Mars. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Man, I was scared I was gonna catch the cough then. Thank goodness it didn't happen to me.